All right, that's enough of that. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Aftershow. My name is Mikey Famine, and I represent Mikey Famine. To my left is the Norwegian who is probably installing his own bidet. To my right, your Lord Wanker of Essex, Mr. Wayne, and
Oi, oi.
our reoccurring guests on the Aftershow, Kay and Ease. So, what up, y'all?
What up?
And Jenna would be here, but she's at work.
Mm-hmm.
She supposedly had the day off, and then she was going to come on the show. But then,
no.
what do you know? I can't. I went in today. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
she's
so-
there
So
allegedly saving lives and treating the sick.
mhm.
whatever.
You know what I mean?
Whatever.
I guess they're more important than the show.
Yeah, which is a bit of a thumb in the nose at us, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, she's on her lunch break.
She could jump in.
She could hypothetically jump in. And Simply Secular Dave, you too. IQ, you too. This is a community, all right?
Mm.
This is the world's show.
This is arms around the world. Come on, everyone. Get here. Come on.
Bring it in.
Come on.
Bring it in.
Everybody bring it in.
Even you Americans, come on.
At least we still have a country, even though it is on fire and diseased.
Come on, original colonialist here. Come on.
We are so fucked in this country.
Yeah. When you say that so proudly, I think all this shit is your country's fault.
Yeah.
All of the world's problems, I think we can trace back to you and your ilk.
Yeah. Definitely.
Your orange Cheeto finger dust is everywhere.
Wow.
You hold responsibility.
Wow.
So what are you going to do to fix it? You have 30 seconds.
Burn it with fire.
Seems to be working thus far.
Yeah, isn't that what we normally do?
Yeah.
Do a bit of distraction technique.
Smoke and the mirrors. So one thing I want to talk about was the Joe Budden podcast and Rory and Maul leaving the show. If you guys haven't seen it or are not familiar with the show, Joe Budden was a rapper in the early aughts and has been, after his music career fizzled, after he had his one-hit wonder, he started up a podcast.
Has he really been milking that for that long?
He's still making money on that for sure. It's at sports games, like when people are walking out.
It's a straight loop. Who?
Yeah.
I forgot who produced that track.
Let me see.
I forgot.
I don't know, but he's probably gold plated by now.
I was about to say Timbaland, but I don't think it's Timbaland. Somebody else.
No, it's definitely not Timberland.
He couldn't afford a Timbaland beat.
No,
they were working together at one point.
No, because it was done. It was like we said earlier, Mike. It was done on a Too Fast, Too Furious soundtrack.
That beat is somebody like actually. It's a well-known name. I forgot who it is. But yeah, it was.
Oh, Just Blaze.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Just Blaze did it.
Yeah.
And then clubbing in 2000. So Pump It Up was 2003. Whew.
Yep.
No, it couldn't have been. It must have been 2002. Because that's when Too Fast, Too Furious came out.
April 29th, 2003. Well, I mean, it might have come out on the thing first. You know,
A reissue.
They might do that sometimes.
It's around that time.
Yeah. They'll put it out for the movie or whatever, and then it'll also be on their album that comes out later. But he decided to fire his two co-hosts in an inglorious and disgusting manner. And his co-host put out a response revealing a lot of his toxic and narcissistic behavior. And I really went to bat for Joe Budden for a couple of reasons. He had a big problem with Joe Rogan getting that exclusive Spotify deal, that $250 million Spotify deal. And he was kind of speaking points that I felt about a lot of industries, where the little guy that has been doing his best and been really like holding down the fort gets snubbed because a celebrity comes in and does the same thing. Because like I love T-Pain, but I really hate that T-Pain has a Twitch channel. because he's got too much money behind his stream, and his music is made by T-Pain. Like, how the hell are we supposed to compete with that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the Idris Elba effect.
He goes where he goes.
He can't do everything. So when it's like, oh, okay, that's fine. Idris Elba, he's an actor. That's perfect. I'm a DJ. Nope, I'm a DJ too.
Actor,
And a kickboxer.
producer.
Yeah.
I'm a cat.
It's hard enough out here. And like The Rock. Like, The Rock is everywhere. That's all we need on the Bin podcast is for The Rock to make a fucking podcast.
Oh, it's funny you say that.
No. No.
My brother Dwayne. He just come in and just shadow me.
The Rock.
Yeah, he's a big dude. But if you guys want to check out the recordings, I was also a little peeved because he put the full blow up rant that he did behind a paywall. Took the episode down everywhere. I mean, you can still find it on YouTube if you search hard enough. It's like the third result down.
So he cashed in on his own controversy.
Yeah, and the same thing about him always being the little guy fighting the big corporation. And then he immediately turned around and corporationized his friends. He misled them to think that they were going to all go to their separate corners and talk about everything that was happening and how to go forward from there. And then immediately brought 2 other people onto the show and recorded 4 episodes without him, or 8 episodes without him. Like, that was cool. So there's that. But his past isn't all this and all that. Kay, you want to talk about that?
Oh yeah, it's just he's a fucking weirdo. Like, there was allegations that he like beat his ex fiance or ex-wife till she miscarried. He straight up admitted to like molesting his own dog. There was like a clip where he was like about to fucking molest Rory's dog on camera in the podcast. He fucking took shots at Method Man, which is unforgivable.
He crossed the line too far.
Right.
He messed with meth.
Oh, that.
That's what messing with meth will get you.
That's where your line is. The canine buggery wasn't a clue.
Yeah, those were admittedly a little out of order in terms of escalation.
If I could go back and listed them in a different
Rule
way.
of 3s, and then the third one was like, oh well, it's not great, but it's not the dog thing or the wife thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, this went sideways quick.
But for the just to be fair, as far as like the baby mom situation, I think all of that went through court, and what we got wasn't the whole thing. And he did a few episodes talking about more of the specifics that he could say to answer some of that, revealing as much as he could as far as his legal counsel would allow him. You know what I mean? Because if what happened did happen, then he wouldn't be doing the show. He'd be in jail still. You know what I mean? Because you can't settle out of court for felony assault. But it's overall, I think the whole thing is just it's weird how some people kind of don't get it that they're the problem that they're mad about.
Yeah, so Mikey, you do a lot of shows. You're across a lot of the internet. Have you ever figured out that it might be you that's the problem?
I'm the issue?
Yeah.
Yeah, I already knew I was the problem. I'm just roping you suckers along.
You're trying to drag us all down, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate that you know this now. So I'd like to announce to everybody that Wayne is
I was going to say I'll be coming straight back.
I don't know what's going on with Jartan.
I think he might have broke his internet
Again.
Yeah. Well, they've got that one cable that they share.
Yeah, the wire must freeze over. You got to thaw it out.
Right.
I think Dr. Emma's doing some sort of online Zoom call.
They got one Ethernet cord that they all share.
Yeah, they unplug it and plug it in between.
Yeah, you have to take it next door and plug it in at the neighbor's house. It's a very long cable.
Just coils it up, puts it over his shoulder.
Got it across the other side of the field.
He probably shoots it to his neighbour with like a trebuchet.
Wait, straight not catapult, the crossbow it.
Yeah, mounted the siege machine.
Yeah.
But on the Demi Lovato thing, Katie, you were in the chat. I liked your point on that. Did you have anything else you want to add to it?
Oh no, just pretty much what I said before. I do kind of get Wayne's thing of like not everything needs to be a bunch of think pieces, but I think just as like an announcement of like, oh, this, this is what's up with this person, so we don't.
No. Kate, I want you to educate me on that front, because I'm just chill with everyone doing whatever the fuck they like, but that's not that's my idealism, and I know that the world is not that. I wish it was the case where people just, oh, this is me, deal with it.
Yeah.
No, that's not the case. So how?
Like
I'm. Go on. Sorry.
That's cool. Like I do get where you're coming from in terms of like there is a tendency in the media for there to be like an opportunism or a clickbait element, and like a lot of these, gossip sites, like they'll co-opt and appropriate, stuff that relates to queer folks and LGBTQ folks without actually caring about it, and they're doing it for clicks. So I get there's like sort of an element of like a lot of that can feel really cynical sometimes, but at the same time, it's like, visibility is better than, opportunistic visibility is sometimes better than just being completely in the margin. But there is a kind of thing where it's like there's visibility, but you also kind of need to be aware of like, media isn't necessarily on the side of people who this stuff actually affects,
Definitely not. And I think that there comes a point where the pendulum swings too far for some folk, and they push back violently against it, like to a point where I've got a mate who will literally sit there and count the non-white faces on adverts and stuff like Joe Biden even referenced it, didn't he? He said, look how far we've come. Look at how many mixed race people and mixed race couples we see in advertising and stuff. I'm like, yeah, but that's kind of the problem in a sense, because what you're doing is saying this is the norm and these people don't live in that reality. And they're like, that's not us. So you've kind of chucked it this way. And now what caused people like Trump and Farage over here and Marine Le Pen in France is this kind of like we're trying to be too inclusive in the sense of we want to show everyone that we don't care, but in doing that you create a backlash. Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying, but I think I just disagree in terms of like I think the reactionaries, they're going to react regardless of what pace we things move at or what kind of visibility is going on in the public. And it's like, if they want to fight, let them fucking fight. I say we just knuckle up and get ready, because they're gonna do what they're gonna do anyways. Trump came anyways, and it's like I feel like the Trumps are, it's like you can't have revolution without counter revolution, and you can't, avoid revolution.
You can't have the yin without the yang.
Yeah, so all you can really do is do what you got to do to change things and keep things moving, and be ready for the counter reaction, because it's going to come regardless.
Yeah. Do you believe in the horseshoe theory?
Not even a little bit. No.
No.
I believe in fishhook theory, that the center capitulates to the right and reinforces the status quo, which is inherently reactionary.
Okay, that's not a theory I've heard.
Oh, fishhook theory. Well, there's like fishhook theory, or sometimes it's also called like ratchet theory, that the center kind of holds, holds the line of like civility in the status quo, but the ultimate consequence of that is just things just move more and more and more to the right. It's like they block movement to the left while, capitulating to movement to the right.
Okay.
In terms of like, the Overton window or whatever.
Yes. Yeah. Because I mean, and that's why when someone is centrist, they're seen as left because everything is more right leaning.
At least but I think all of this kind of like has to fit within, like, I mean, if we talk about the ideas themselves and not the historical precedents for the conversation, like the nuance of all the conversation, then what it turns into is like almost everything before this was right wing, according to today's standards. So by being center and supporting the status quo, that is inherently right wing.
Okay.
Right, and this is all like the entire Western world is built on fucking racism and settler colonialism and capitalism. So it's all right wing by definition and by order.
So what you're saying is the scales are tipped in such a way that you've got like the extreme left, which is so small in comparison to the influence of the right when it comes to things like the media, politics and all that kind of thing. When the far left pops up, because they're just like a screaming mob, the middle, which would truly be the center, gets forgotten because most people are on the right. Is that what I'm getting from what you're saying?
No.
Not forgotten. Well, not heard, not listened to.
No, counted on.
Right, like, yeah, what I'm saying is that the center like carries water for and runs interference for the right. Like, I don't even think the left is like a screaming mob. I mean, historically, any kind of actual organization and attempt to build power on the left has been brutally repressed by the status quo, which is right wing. But yeah, I think the center is a myth. I think the both sidism is a myth, or just.
Yeah, so I see what you're saying when you're saying carrying water, where if the most dominant mindset is of the right, then what you're saying to me is the centre are carrying water for the right. So they're leaning more right because the status quo is where they want to be and it's easier for them to be there and exist in that realm. Whereas the left is so marginalized that they don't get a look in, and when they do get a look in, it's normally in a very pejorative manner and spoken ill of because it's not the state of quo.
Yeah, or even just if you think of like when we talk about like the prevalence of this stuff like in the media, right? There's this common misconception that the media is like left wing or whatever. When really it's like there's a superficiality of like this sort of progressive liberalism that ultimately is not actually substantially left in any material way. It takes all of these left and progressive ideas and co-opts them and turns them into aesthetic that ultimately reinforces the mode of production and the status quo.
I'll tell you who summed this up for me the best. It was David Pakman when he went on to Joe Rogan's podcast and he pushed back about this left bias in the media. And David Pakman just turned around and said, these people are acting in the most capitalist way they can because they see that there's a pushback against a certain element on their platforms and they're getting rid of them. And they're not getting rid of them to be like holier than thou. They're doing it to protect their bottom line. Because if their advertising revenue goes down because they're hosting someone such as your Alex Jones or, I don't know, Milo Yiannopoulos, if their revenue stream is down, that means they're losing money, which means their shareholders are not going to be happy, which is the most right-wing kind of emphasis you can have. You're all about making money. You're all about being a capitalist. So when people argue, oh, there's a left-leaning bias to the media, no, there's not. They're just looking after their money, which is the most right-wing thing that they could ever fucking do. So when anyone ever comes up with this argument about the media being biased to the left, just highlight that to them. Why did they get rid of that person? Oh, because that person was controversial, and that person meant that advertisers didn't want to be associated with their product. Then that's not left wing at all. That's complete right wing capitalism.
Yep.
Everyone's gone quiet.
No. You're not wrong. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, and I understand, but so my comment on this is that, what are you confused about it? Like, is it something that you're not understanding, or is it?
No. I'm not confused in any way, shape, or form. What I'm saying is the argument from the right is that the media are left leaning, but when you analyze their behavior to when you actually analyze it to why they're doing it, you realize it's a right wing agenda that they're.
When you start getting used to understanding and accepting that no matter what side you're on, it's all a very capitalistic mindset, and it's all about making money to get ahead instead of building something to get ahead. Once you start understanding and you're comfortable with it, it's a norm, which is what we're at. So it's a norm. It's a norm that people dismiss. They don't pay attention to it because they're just so used to it. That's where Demi Lovato's coming out and saying identify as such and call me as such is important, because we need to is the right word desensitize or sensitize? Anyway, we got to hit those nerves, because people are just too. There we go. We got to hit nerves, so people are too desensitized. They're just accepting things. They're too used to just not noticing the shit that is affecting them. And when it comes down to, okay, you have sides, right, and then you have a center. In my opinion, people depend on that center to help them make that choice. They all go to that, and they're like, well, okay, you're the deciding vote. What are you going to do? And yes, most of the time they're going to go towards a more conservative value, because they're like, oh, well, what about our kids? Which, again, leads back to this capitalistic movement on how do we make sure that our kids are going to make money tomorrow. They don't care that it takes education and proper health care to get them there. They just want to make sure that they're working to keep the shit going. Fuck it, put them in McDonald's.
But what Kay is arguing is that because of the influence of the right, the Overton window is shifted so far over that the so-called centre is not truly the centre, it's the facilitator of the right, because that maintains the status quo. And the left are kind of like...
Not always, because you have to... That's where you have to be pushy and say, well, this is who I am, and this is what you're going to call me. I don't care what you think. And that's how you shift that center.
Okay, Kay, do you want to respond to that?
Well, I mean, what I'm referring to when it comes to like ratchet theory or fishhook theory or whatever you want to call it, it's more this idea that, I mean, like part of it's the Overton window and part of it is like actual political power structure in general. Like I agree to an extent with what Yves is saying in terms of like the cultural stuff of like a lot of people look to like what's the reasonable thing here for stuff to slowly move left. But like in terms of like I'm speaking in like a political economy sense, when ultimately like all centrism under the status quo of capitalism ultimately reinforces the status quo of capitalism. So you can't have any like actual like there is no leftism, there is no left leaningness without challenge to capitalism and the mode of production. And that's not a class reductionist stance. That's like it's interweaved with all of these other intersectional issues, because it's what dictates, you know, how people accumulate power within this system. So and centrism does not challenge that power structure, that ultimately reinforces it and you know, runs interference for it in the face of mass dissent.
Okay, Wonder Lady, do you want to? Hang on, Wonder Lady disagrees. Do you want to get in here and
I sent her a link.
Yeah, we want to get in here and let's really mix things up, because we all have differing views, but the beauty of this podcast and this community that we're slowly building here is that we can disagree and learn from each other, and you know, find nuanced ways into, you know, some sort of enlightenment where we can move forward and get something going. And what, like when I mentioned the horseshoe theory to Kay, and Kay straight away was like, no, it's more fishhook. And I'm like, okay, that's a theory I've not heard. I want to hear this, and I want to entertain that and see what's going on there. And Kay's making a lot of sense. Easy's also making a lot of sense. So yeah, I just want us all to learn of each other.
Yep. Perfect.
Oh, what's going on, Mikey?
Mikey's eating. Faye, you good? Oh no, I couldn't hear you.
Hello.
Hello.
There's that calming voice.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You all right?
I'm all right.
Can we crank your volume up a little bit, Kay? Because you're a little bit quiet.
Who, me?
Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
Oh, okay. Like, I don't understand the whole,
Yeah,
like, I don't understand, like, you know, when you talk about the horseshoe theory and blah, 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 that's assuming that the shape doesn't move. It's more of a Mobius strip of bullshit, don't you think?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I mean, like before Trump took office, the right wing wasn't as distorted as it is now, and you know, it depends on what's going on, cultural pressures, blah blah blah. Like, if someone said center was dead center, I wouldn't agree, but like, capitalism doesn't really work. I mean, you know, whether it's left leaning or not, you can still do left capitalism. It's just, it's a system that doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, but to say it's not capitalism, it certainly is at the
No,
moment.
I'm saying capitalism is not left. Like,
oh, well, explain that to me then, so I'm not making an assumption.
I'm saying if you consider yourself a capitalist, you cannot honestly consider yourself a leftist. Just definitionally, historically, that's the only point I was making there.
I don't understand. Why can't you?
Because that's not what the political. I mean, again, we kind of get into a thing of like political spectrums and the left-right economy is, and you know, it only goes so far and is kind of inherently vague in general. But like historically, you know, left is in opposition to capital and right is in support of capital. Like, and that's just sort of what our understanding of the political structure. But that's the conflict, or the core conflict that are.
Can the two not work in symbiosis?
Yeah, that's my problem with that statement.
Yeah, that's liberalism, and that's again, that's centrism. And like, I understand how like superstructurally there is a lot of cultural stuff that can seem left leaning or seem progressive, but if it's not challenging the power structures of capitalism, then it's not it's not left. It's not in opposition to that hegemonic power structure.
And I think what Kate's saying, like when Kate says left, it's not Democrat left. It's like left as in as far left is what because what is I think Sweet says he's like a narco syndicalist.
Yeah.
So like syndicalism is like
He's a chauvinist anarchist, but he's not here to defend himself, so I'll chill.
no, cook his ass. No, I'm just kidding. But I think that's when so the left would go into like socialism would be left.
Mhm.
But you
Like-
can have a socialistic democracy, but that doesn't mean it's not a democracy. And capitalism can happen under that circumstance. So I don't get it.
Because that would be more left than our liberalism.
Like, I don't consider Bernie Sanders a leftist. I don't consider AOC leftists. If that clarifies what
Then
I'm.
what are
And again,
they?
a lot of people disagree with me about the definition because it's all kind of vague, in terms of how we refer to these political compasses.
I refer to them as progressive, which is a term that seems to be new nowadays.
No, it's not. It's actually as
Yeah,
old
I know
as
it's an
the-
old term. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just that they're using it again, and I terms change, and maybe that's a problem. Because
Oh
progressive.
no, it really hasn't, because progressives were important in getting child labor laws in place so that kids weren't getting their hands cut.
That was
by machines
communists.
at work.
Communists did that.
No, that was the
Labor movement,
progressives.
the labor movement, that was all anarchists and communists.
Okay.
Spearheading.
I read that it was progressives, so we differ on that.
I mean, props to whoever did it, but I think that's kind of like, but little kids working in factories and on machines that could chop their little fingers off.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of explains how capitalism. It's a perfect analogy for how capitalism can go very, very wrong. Where people are like, I can make a buck this way. They don't have to have any moral concerns, any ethical concerns. His hands is little; they will fit inside this engine block. Or they're short. I can get them into a mine.
Have you ever heard the term light a fire under them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that comes from us sending kids up chimneys and they getting a little bit stuck. So what they would do is light a fire under them to motivate them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's progressive.
Yeah.
So stopping doing that is progressive. But now, when we take the term progressive in the term of we don't want to harm kids and use child labour anymore, is that left or is that right?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I got lost there.
Yeah.
Right. So, you've got two kids up a chimney.
Mm-hmm.
One says, "Right, I'm going to need to light a fire under this fella because he ain't doing his job right," and the other one says, "No, we need to get him out because we shouldn't really be using kids." Which one is progressive, and which one is left, and which one is right?
See, I don't think it applies.
I mean,
It's whether or not you're a psychopath.
Right.
No, but I'm using an extreme to prove a point.
Okay, so my main point here is that generally progressivism has been like, it's not to say that progressives can't, or self-described progressives can't be left-leaning or never have goals that intersect with leftists or with communists or socialists or whatever you want to call it. My point is that generally it's kind of ill-defined and sticks to a more cultural and superstructural sort of definition of what the left-right spectrum is. It's all, social rather than political or economic. In terms of would someone who's involved in the labor movement and opposes child labor, would they be progressive or left or what? Like, yeah, historically they would probably be both. So
that's my point.
Like, progressives historically at least take on the social elements and and some of the aesthetics and some of the superstructural stances of the left, but they don't always. And again, because it's not always a clear define of this is what progressive means in the conversation about political economy. You know, it's not. It's kind of like, you know, democratic socialist, social democrat. Like there's not a lot of like solid definitional consensus on these things. So it's kind of just like you got to figure out the working definition of the person you're talking to who's self-describing as a thing.
See, if someone was progressive and saw that there was harm coming to a worker of whatever hue they're in, and they said, well, if we did it this way, it would be safer for the worker and more profitable for the company. Now, is that left or is it right? Because
Neither. That's what I'm saying.
It is superficially left while capitulating to the right, because it's not challenging the power dynamic between the worker and the owner. It's merely trying to treat the symptom of what causes damage to the worker through that conflict. Like an actual leftist would say, there is a power imbalance here, and we need to address that, and we need to empower the worker. But again, progressivism is historically better than nothing, and a progressive gain, treating a symptom is better than not treating.
Yeah, but do you see the conundrum that it throws up? Because you're being progressive, but at the same time you're also helping the capitalist company to improve its profit rating. So you're kind of existing in the same realm at the same time.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I say it's often better than nothing, and it's also often a very calculated concession that sometimes the left has to make. But at the same time, it's like.
No, but this is where I find a little bit of a flaw in your argument when it comes to the status quo being the right, because if you've got the right being the driving force of making money and stuff, but you've got people on the left or progressives trying to make the work environment better, do you not see that they work in symbiosis rather than one having the scale tipped in their favor to the other?
No, I think that assumes that the left doesn't know how to make money.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Or doesn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. If you say the right is all about making money and the left is all about looking after people,
I think they're both interested in making money. I think one is just a lot more comfortable of doing it at someone else's expense. They both do it at.
Thank you.
They both do it at someone else's expense, because as much as we love computers and we're all on computers of some sort right now, yeah, those minerals came from somewhere else.
Speak for yourself. This was mined out of hemp and kitten tears.
No, but those natural resources came from an underdeveloped area, and we kind of turn a blind eye because we want an iPhone or we want a laptop. It's just baked into the system. And I don't think anyone right now, as I see it, there are no good actors. It's all just varying degrees of bad. Yeah, no one's got it right.
I wish someone would do like a video.
But I mean, like Fanon talked about what you talked about like nearly a century ago. Like to say that there's no good actors on the left, it's because historically the state kills them. It's we don't have a Black Panther Party anymore. We don't have Young Lords anymore because the state killed them or jailed them or bought them.
Right.
So just because that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the center capitulates to the right and ultimately doesn't challenge the right, and that the left has no power or representation in the common zeitgeist of Western culture, because historically every labor movement has been
killed them.
Yeah, has been stamped down or co-opted or bought or manipulated. It's like, and this isn't conspiracy theory. This is COINTELPRO. This is MK Ultra. This is all shit that they they let us know about because they don't care, because they know they have all the cards.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
it has changed though. I mean, like, if you go back, the left used to be what the Republican Party is now, and the right used to be what you know what I mean? Like,
No,
Yeah, the
it's been flipped.
they
And
didn't.
also,
Dixiecrats
The
and all that.
Republicans jumped to the right of the Democrats and nudged them ever so slightly back to the center. But
I
neither party was
have to
ever,
ask you
neither
something.
party was ever a Labor Party.
Excuse
Wait.
me. I
Hold on, Kate.
have to correct you in something. One, if I'm in the middle of a sentence, please don't sit there and yell no at me.
Okay, let's play
If you get to talk, so do I. And I forget my point because I got interrupted by you shouting at me, and I don't appreciate that.
I think you were talking about like previously the left, and that's a fair shout. Let's all let each other finish our thoughts. Some of us are better at interrupting each other and continuing, but we don't want to be rude and make people forget their train of thought. But I think you were somewhere
old.
Kay, what you were talking about was the distinction between the left and the right.
Faye was. Get it right.
Oh,
Come on,
sorry,
Wayne.
Faye. Sorry. You were talking about the distinction between the left and the right and how they flipped in the 60s, I believe it was.
Oh, it was. I don't remember when it happened, but you could also have a very conservative person in the Democrat Party or a very, like liberal person in. It was less defined back then. It all had to do with individuality, and it wasn't as sort of like this idea that it's party or bust is a very modern thing, and it's very toxic. But there is no like utopia of like, oh well, this side has always been on the better side or worse side, or and I am going to stick with my guns. It was progressives who did the child labor laws, not the socialists. I'm just being very clear on that. It was 1916, which was the height of the progressive movement. I'm done.
Kay?
I mean, a lot of that's false, but I don't really got nothing else to say to that.
No, well, Kay,
Well,
come back.
Like ignoring the role of the labor movement and the fact that the labor movement has traditionally been run by socialists is just false. Like, yeah, there was a lot of crossover with self-described progressivism, but like I said before, progressivism isn't a single thing in terms of relation to political economy and labor movements.
No, I gotta disagree with you there. That's not true. We have. That's what I was saying before. The term progressive wasn't, just like Faye said. There's these identities that have been placed in politics, which have become very toxic. They've always been around. They've always been there. That's why we have them now. But we stopped using them because we were at a point where it wasn't about labeling and where I stand. It was about who we were. It was about that identity of being an American. And that's changed over the last few years. And now here we are biting at each other because we have people like Trump stepping in and saying, well, it has to be divided. And it's gone from this political argument to what is now on the streets here in the United States. We're killing each other. The crime's getting real bad. And you have this personification that the cops are inciting this fucking war. It's just this huge mess that has been involved because of that division, because of these labels that we've put on how we should behave. Thank you. We've been a certain way. We've been divided.
See, this is where I feel that the labels are unhelpful, because we've got 5 people here with 5 different opinions, and yet we're still managing to communicate without going to attacks or anything like that. We're just trying to find an equilibrium of thought.
It's conversation.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting the fact that we're all trying to define something, but the definition of these things should not be binary. It should be moving. It should be like an amorphous blob where at one point progressivism meant this and socialism meant that. The only one thing that runs through it is capitalism always means we need to take money from you to further our own idea.
But I disagree with that because
Okay.
And the only way I say that is because I think we're using words, but I don't know that in the field. Like, where the fuck is Tim? Where's Tim at? Tim's got this is just the sort of shit for, you know what I'm saying, and Sweet as well, because they have like academic knowledge and understanding for what that word that we use, because we use it in a very colloquial term, what the academic and like actual definition of certain terms might be. So we could just be, yes, this is what I mean, but the word we're using to describe it is why we're getting pushback and why it's not being seen. Like, I think we're all trying to say the same thing and trying to agree on the same thing, but I think our definitions aren't exactly clear. Because I don't think the words that we're using, I don't think those words are nebulous. I think those words do have actual definitions.
Yeah, Faye, do you want to go next?
And then Kay.
I was gonna say I don't think we are saying the same things, and I generally go by dictionaries and etymology, so I mean that's why if I don't get too specific, I don't finish because I'm trying to think and speak at the same time. Not always a great thing, but I'm old.
No, you're not.
I am. I'm old.
No, you're not. You're like 21.
Kay, your thoughts?
Just to clarify, I don't fundamentally disagree with the core of what Faye and Eve are saying. There's a lot of context here and a lot of misunderstanding, or at least I believe misunderstood. They disagree, so it's whatever. But misunderstanding of the historical context here and what a lot of the stuff means. So I don't disagree with like the core sort of values that they're expressing in terms of, but there is a lot of history here, and when it comes to the labor movement and when it comes to property relations and political economy, that, and again, like Mikey said before, it's like I disagree with Sweet and Tim on a whole lot of shit, but that's like basic left stuff that they tend to.
But
I'm not an academic like they are, so I'm a fucking truck driver and a communist. And
do you think this could come down to subjective understanding of certain terms and our own sort of bias into what we believe a certain word means, and that's where the conflict is, in the sense of progressiveness may mean something totally different to you, and socialism may mean something totally different to me, because we live in different environments and we live we've lived different experiences and stuff. So like when people say socialism, to some people they think it's going to be the collective ownership of the production of goods and materials, whereas myself, I look at socialism as in our National Health Service. We all pay in and we all benefit from that. For me, that's socialism. The fact that our taxes pay for the roads and schools and stuff, that to me is socialism, because you are socializing a certain amount of money for the benefit of the entire populace.
Ding, 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 ding.
Now, that is my interpretation of socialism. It's not, we're just going to go and steal a factory and say, this is ours now.
So I think Sweet is cringing somewhere, because socialism is just, he's yelled at me about it several times. What we're talking about is more social programs and things like that.
Yeah.
That's socialism.
Yeah.
Socialism is like it just answers the question of who owns the means of production.
Yes. But what I'm saying is my version.
So the National Health Care Service wouldn't quite fit into that. You know what I mean? it's this is what I mean. Like we
okay.
use words and we
So,
use phrases and things, but like the definition of that
exactly.
We're using it the way that we want to use it, as opposed to the way that it actually what it actually represents.
That's my exact point, Mikey. We're using it in subjective terms that suit our agenda. So I'm looking at, like, yes, it is a socially funded product, so you could call it socialism. And we had this argument with our libertarian friend who wants to just be given a plot of land and doesn't want to use anyone else's road. But yeah, that's
sure,
argument.
Sure, well.
But what I'm saying is, I look at socialist programs as socialism. It may not be the dictionary definition of what socialism is, but if we all pay into a collective pot and we all benefit from that pot, that's a socialist program by definition, because it's a socialized, socially funded project for everyone. Does that make sense?
Yes, because I've heard Stephen Fry say the same thing, and he called it socialism.
I ain't arguing with Lord Fry.
Me either. I adore the man.
Never.
But he's not an economist. That's the thing, though. We have to defer to the people that know more about certain things.
Mikey, he's also not a lord. I fucking am.
He's also like a lovely brain.
Yeah. One of the best things Stephen Fry ever came out with. I saw an interview with him when he was talking about swear words, and he was like saying, "Why do we call these words swear words? Why are these profanity? We're saying shit, fuck, cunt, all this kind of stuff. Why are we saying these are swear words? But we're quite happy to say rape, maim, murder. Those words depict something that's horrible, but none of us would be here without fucking." I was just like, done. Makes complete sense.
That's why he makes me purr.
Oh, he's a great man. Flawed in many ways, but we all are.
Anyone who's
Not
perfect makes me nervous. Do you make me nervous, Mikey? Is that what you're telling me?
I don't know. Have you ever felt nervous around me? I'm taking a look. Aside from being shot across the room by a overpowered bidet, no flaws detected.
What? What happened to your butthole? You need to have a talk.
No,
Faye, you need to go. You need to go and listen to the main show of the BIM podcast today to find out exactly what that's all about.
Oh, I will.
It wasn't. I wasn't seated on it when it decided to fucking Old Faithful me, but guys, just happened.
Was it like that scene from Goonies?
It was
when
like
he starts messing when Sloth starts messing around with the pipes.
It was more or less like when like there's a hole in a hose or something like that. So then like the cartoon animal like steps on it with their foot, and then another hole pops up, and they step and then like there's just holes everywhere. Yeah, that was me.
Mm.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Kay, would you like to come back? Anything?
I'm sorry, I have to step out. I missed whatever's going on.
Okay. Kay?
Yeah, that bidet situation sounds intense.
Oh, look at what I said.
That's a great summary.
Okay, hold on. Here's my question. Speaking of bidets, does it actually like clean you?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
It's great.
All right.
Mikey's actually sat on it right now.
You know, Wayne, there's times that I share. You know, I think it's every time I share a little something with the pod, just a little peek into life behind the scenes for me. I regret it every time. Every time I regret it.
Dude, you said it on the show.
I know, but I was like, oh, this is funny. They'll laugh at this. No, they'll laugh at me.
Yeah.
No.
It's just me the situation's not funny. I'm funny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the joke.
Funny looking.
You should know better.
I should, but I just can't help myself.
On, Mikey, we've been doing this for over a year now. Jesus. and it's still better than DO8.
Now, here's the question. Is the bidet progressive, socialist? Yes.
Yeah, it's slowly working up him.
It's socialistic. It's socialistically progressive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This took a right turn.
Oh, see, here we go.
Mm.
It begins.
Mikey, you brought it up.
Now with the right turn, get it right.
Right.
Wayne.
You know.
Fucking Wayne.
What do you want me to do?
Not even catching your own puns.
Dude, I can't just be here for eye candy.
Why not? If it works, I'm done fighting things. If things work from now on, we're doing them. We're taking the easy way from now on.
Oh, so this is to Kay's point. You're going to do whatever is easiest, which then services the right-wing agenda.
Until we change a whole bunch of other stuff, I don't think our little podcast is really going to upset the balance that the U.S. has going for it right now.
You wait.
Oh God! Oh no!
Give me old chestbuster alien come out.
Yeah.
There's going to be big problems, I think, this summer.
Oh yeah.
In what way?
Well, I think last summer we threw a lot of food away because there was COVID in the factories, in the shipping lines. There was no one to pick it up, no one to utilize it, no one to blah. So food's going up anyway. Add to that, we're having this gas crisis, and they did predict a gas shortage for the summer anyway. Combined on that, my state is adding 55 cents more a gallon on gasoline. That's all going to be reflected in the grocery stores on products that are going up in price anyway.
Faye, what state are you in?
New York.
Okay, Mikey's got 6 bags of gasoline in the boot of his Mini.
Oh
He can
no.
bring it up to you.
Oh no. No.
They're in Ziplocs. It's okay. They can totally travel.
Okay.
Well,
As long as
the
it's
thing is,
killable.
Yeah.
it's going to affect the fact that one, we don't produce anything locally.
Mm-hmm.
So food is going to be very, very, very expensive this summer and probably into the winter. But they keep throwing money on family and children, and I think there's going to be a disproportionate amount of young singles and older and disabled vulnerable people who are going to go without, even more so than usual. Like, the joke won't be the old lady eating the cat food. The joke will be, she
The old
died and
lady
the
eating the
cat
cat.
she died and the cat ate her instead. She became cat food.
I'm about to say, please don't order anything else from goddamn Petco. My girl works enough as it is.
Oh, no.
Of all the industries, she works at a warehouse. They're busier than ever. Which I'm like, how the hell do people have money for pets right now? Big Hot.
Mike, there's some little fella just rocked up.
Oh, listen to him.
And that's not to mention the no mask policy.
Yeah.
Don't skinny shame me. You know, I'm trying, but can't everybody be
I know,
like
man.
me?
You ain't part of this Bullet Club.
So I've decided, Big House, I'm gonna have to just go ahead and put my deposit down for some sessions, and that'll force me into doing it.
I'm telling you, money changes things.
Now I'll have to show up.
Mikey, what you got to do is you've got to text him about the transportation that you need to take to his facility,
He gonna need transportation to leave because he might not be able to drive.
See, this is what scares me right back out of it. You know, I'm so ready to like, you know what, let me just sign up for some sessions, get my body right. And then he says, yeah, have your girl pick you up.
In a bucket.
I tell a lot of my clients, man, without the struggle, the butterfly's wings wouldn't be so pretty.
It's kind of poetic, I suppose.
That's a very poetic way of saying I'm going to drive you into the ground like a railroad spike.
I just had this conversation with a client of mine. She is 21, pretty unhealthy, right? And when she got here today, I was in the process of making a program for my other client who is a scholarship athlete at Lewis University.
Okay.
So she happened to see part of the workout. And she was like, oh, Jesus, who is this for? And I said, that's for my scholarship athlete that plays center at Lewis. And she's like, oh, my God. And here I was thinking that you were putting me through hell.
That was tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. I said, no. I said, it's different for everybody. You'll be challenged, but, you know, what I do for you is different for what I do for others. Oh, shit. Look who it is. Ooh.
Hi.
Bunch of people. People you don't know except Mikey.
All right, Big Huss, introduce yourself to the Bin Podcast after show, because
Well, first let me say it's a pleasure to finally be put on the guest list to come to the Bin. I'm Big Huss. I am 1/3 of Dig on America podcast. Until Mikey got here, until Mikey came on board, I was known as Conspiracy Brother. But Mikey has taken over the militant mantle, and I am considered moderately militant now. I'm a personal trainer and athletic performance coach and activist. Member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. You know, just out here trying to make life better for all the paths I cross.
Well, thank you for making the leap over from DOA to the BIN.
Hey, you know something? It's good to be here. You know, like Diggable Planet said.
If I can't.
Please don't tell me y'all familiar with Diggable Planets, right?
Yeah.
I ain't got a clue what you're talking about, mate.
Oh my God.
Wayne lives in Middle Earth. He doesn't get a lot of stuff over there.
Oh, man. All right. Well,
No, I live in the land of the founders.
Also, I'm old as hell. So Diggable Planets was popping in the mid '90s and early 2000s. So it might be a little bit.
Huss, how old are you?
I will be 49 in July.
Yeah, fuck you, Mikey. I'm young as fuck.
How did that still come back to me?
Because you're always digging me out, calling me an old cunt.
I'm still older.
Oh, you're not. You're beautiful.
Who's that? Who's that talking?
I'm Faye.
Shay.
Faye.
Hi, Shay.
Not
Faye?
Shay.
Faye. F-E-Y.
Oh, Faye.
Yes.
Not Shay.
No, not Shay.
My bad.
It's okay.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. Obviously, you cutting up coke or something because you don't have your video up.
No, I don't show myself online.
Oh, see, that's called I had one stalker too many. And,
Yes, that's exactly what it's called.
Exactly. I know the vibes. Not personally because nobody stalks me, but
No, you got a stalker. She in the chat right now. Say hey, Jenna.
Oh, Jenna's there?
Mm-hmm. She in the chat. She's not in the call. She's quote unquote. She's quote unquote working.
Yeah. Apparently, she's fixing people.
Yeah, they're more important than us.
So what are we discussing in the after show? What did I miss?
Oh, we've gone over fucking everything.
What were we just on? We were just on. Oh yeah, like the world's gonna end tomorrow.
Oh, somebody's
No,
on that.
we were talking
Is that a
about
Q conspiracy or is that a?
Hold on,
No.
Wayne. Before you do that,
Yeah.
we could revisit some of the stuff that was in the main show. So with Demi Lovato coming out as non-binary,
Oh, I
and
snapped on somebody about that today.
what'd you say? What happened?
Well, they put up a meme, and up top it was Demi Lovato coming out as non-binary, and then below that they had a picture of Tony Soprano saying, "Who gives a shit?" And I responded, "Hey,
Oh.
Demi coming out has nothing to do with Demi. It has to do with her hoping to inspire others who are in the same position to feel free to live their lives." And I said to the guy, I said, "Dude, you know what's messed up right now is you probably have people in your life that you told, if you need anything, if you need to talk, if you need anything, I got you. I'll support you. And now they know you lying because of what's just put out." I said, there's people closer than you think to you that might be struggling with something. And they'd say,
oh, wow.
And I said to him, they say, if this dude will go in and ridicule Demi Lovato like this, you know what the hell, he's going to do worse to me. So why would I go to that guy? I can't trust him.
Oh, what about you here earlier, Hus? Because me and you are about to go at it now, son.
Oh,
really, really, really.
Yeah, no, because my whole point is it's a utopian point.
Okay.
I want to live in a world where that don't matter.
Well, everybody wants to live in a world where that don't matter, but
what I'm saying is, this being news infuriates me because I'm past that. I'm past that. I don't give a fuck.
But that's you.
Yeah, Huz, hear me out.
All right,
that's my entire point. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I really don't care. That is their business. That's their business.
Yeah.
What annoys me is the people who make it their business to have an opinion about it and try and put them people down.
Well, of course.
I just want to be able to let them do their thing and chill.
Yes, and that would be great. And it would be great where people who are in the limelight didn't have to use their platform to inspire and raise awareness for things that shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
But of course, we don't live in a utopia.
No, we don't.
It's so sad that we don't. I wouldn't.
So when is the shelf life of being inspired and impressed by it? Like when is it allowed to be normal instead of unique?
How is that unique? Because there's a lot of people like that.
Well, okay. I'm kind of like in between the two of you, like someone announcing their identity, and it's like, I liked you before you told me this. I still like you now. Nothing's changed except for what you just told me.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather know how you feel about something or what you think about something or about your ideas. Not really too impressed by people's identities, but like, great, I'm not standing against you. I'm standing with you still, but
Right.
it's like when your nephew takes a picture of his breakfast every day. When do I stop going, that's great, honey?
Well, here's the thing. That entirely depends upon society. And once again, we're talking about an individual view, which I'm proud of, and I'm glad that you feel that way. But there's still far too many people in this world that were marginalized because of that choice. And then, so because of that, because society's that way, there's far too many people living in fear and not living their true selves. More and more people that can use their platform and choose to live openly, then we start normalizing. That is part of the process. Because
so
long,
you're getting too far, dog.
I'm sorry.
You're getting too far from the house.
Your Wi-Fi is going all shit.
Oh. Sorry, I was trying to tidy up my clients out here in the lawn, and they left water bottles and stuff.
House, my point is like, I'm just chill with everyone. Yes, that's just me and a subjective perspective as me. And what annoys me is people using these kind of avenues to say, look, I'm here, and it's being clickbaity and it triggers people to get reactionary. So you go to like the comment section.
You're more upset at the people that get triggered by it.
Yeah, because I'm like, what the fuck's your problem?
Right.
What's your problem? Just shut up.
Okay. I smell where you're coming from with that. Because that's why I said what I said to my guy, because I'm like, dude, it's important because it's not for her. She's fine. She's rich. She's comfortable. She can operate in spaces that other people can't.
They.
I'm sorry. I'm.
It'll take a second to shift gears, but we'll get there.
But the thing is that wasn't for her. It's like forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't for you. I mean, for them is So she's doing that so that others may be inspired.
Mikey.
What?
What I do? Oh, I didn't say it.
No. You was correcting Haas. So I was saying, Mikey, he's saying she again.
Oh, Haas, you say it.
All right, I'm sorry. I'll try.
No, but I pulled Mikey up on the same thing earlier.
Okay.
Because it takes a bit of time to adjust. But the thing is, but the thing
somebody you've recognized as before they, and that's another thing is non-binary people who have not come out, they have to endure that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Being called he or she or whatever when they don't necessarily subscribe to that.
But you see, even this conversation in itself,
we
are pulling each other up and making that space available for people to say, okay, no, this is cool. But what we don't need is to make like these what's the word I'm looking for? These sort of like showpiece announcements, because that
in a utopian society we wouldn't.
I know, and the thing is, I'm looking for a utopian society. I'm aiming for that utopian society. So to shoot me, let me finish, mate. To shoot me down for aiming for that is, yes, it's unrealistic to a degree, but allow me to have that ideal.
Oh, sure.
Because otherwise we would never get anywhere. If you say we can't get there, there's no point in trying anything.
Well, I think that things like this are part of the movement towards that society. Because as long as things are shrouded, as long as things are obscured, then everybody else who thinks the normal is the normal will not know what the true normal could be.
We'll all be like sitting in the same place we'll be in like 50 years ago. We wouldn't have been anywhere.
Exactly. So
allow me to say that I want to be in a place where this is not news.
Oh, sure. Me too. I'm a little bit more pragmatic about it. I understand that we're not in that place yet, and this is part of getting the wheels turning that way. Because we have the same goal, we have the same goal. We just
have different experiences
about the process. Yeah.
No, we have different experiences, and that's fair dues, and I totally accept that. I mean, I live in a small town in Essex in the UK, right? And the majority of my mates do not share my views. I have to try and drip feed them what I feel is going on.
Yeah, and doing that, and it's like water on a sponge. Eventually, they'll get it. Especially if something happens with someone close to them.
Yeah,
that's the great motivator there. With somebody they love, or somebody they really care for, or somebody they're close to, ends up in one of the situations they kind of been poo-pooing.
Yeah, and I shared something in the sort of bridging show between main show and now with Mikey and Jartan. Deeply personal, and like Mikey, you got what I was talking about, didn't you? With regards to like my experience and looking at my prejudices and seeing how quick I could adjust. Because what's the point in having a mind if you don't change it?
Yeah, if you're the same person you were 6 months ago, that means you didn't do much living.
Yeah, if you're the same person you were 6 months ago, you fucked up.
Yeah.
100%.
Sorry about the helicopter.
Oh, sorry, that's just Mikey.
Oh.
I've never believed in normal, so I've never thought that traditional anything was a good idea. Like doing things just because they fit in the pegs or a Jello mold. That to me, that's
conforming.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? And that's
that
a good
is.
mindset to have.
That's a beautiful mindset. It's a beautiful mindset.
I don't understand why anyone would say, well, I've got to get married by 25 and it must be this kind of dress, and I'm supposed to have my first baby at this age or that age or blah blah blah. It's like, no, that's not life, hun. You know, it's like, oh, or girls have to wear dresses or have long hair. No, nobody has to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Ew, the only thing we have to do is die and pay taxes. The rest, fuck off.
Faye, I'm going to pick you up on something there, Faye.
What?
You said I've never believed in normal. Yeah,
it's not normal.
No. Every conversation we've ever had, you always talk about, oh, I'm old. That means absolutely nothing.
Well,
nothing.
all you young people with all your ideas and the information just gets faster and faster. When I was in my 20s, I was quite smart. Now that I'm much older, I'm not as smart or sharp as I used to be, and I'm a little slower.
Yes, you are. Yeah. See, this is the thing. This is why I had to pull you up on your use of the term normal, because you're trying to define yourself by your age, and we're looking at you as the beautiful human that you are, and we're not seeing what is normal. You're asking us to say what is normal.
Yeah, that's right, Faye. He calls you beautiful, Faye. Now what you gonna do?
I'm gonna accept that explanation, and I'm gonna say I'm wrong, and woo, I'm beautiful. Woo!
Because Lord Wanker said so.
You is beautiful.
Exactly. I'm an actual lord. I've got a scroll and everything.
A scroll.
Actually, it's over there.
No, but you know what I mean. I
know what you mean. But what I'm saying is, you'll sit there and say about what is normal and what is not, and then describe yourself as old. But then you come in here and have conversations with all of us on the same level, and then say you're old as a pejorative. That's not That's not a fucking pejorative. That means that you have got more experience than me and any of us here, and that means that you can bestow that knowledge on us and have something that may trigger us in the sense of change our minds, our thoughts, or something like that. So the fact that you're saying what is normal is it's meaningless. You can't sit there and say you can't sit there and say you're old and then bestow all of these knowledge bombs on us. You can't do that.
Well,
I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
No, to be fair, I am an American, yet I'm a third generation atheist.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of not normal here.
So
you know what I mean?
So can you stop with your contradictions?
Okay. Well, nothing is ever. See, that's the thing. No, nothing ever fits in the box. Whether you're normal or non-traditional or anything, nothing ever really fits in the box.
Right.
Gotta spit on it.
There is a new lube called Quim, and apparently it's a marijuana infused lube.
Ooh.
And it's for a happy clam. Except for I hear that it's very expensive, but yes, I thought that might change. It's called Quim.
Stop saying it. Stop
Hey, how do you spell that?
QUIM or QIM?
Right. Let me get the link.
QUIM.
Okay,
I've got to stop you. I've got to stop you. Right, that particular word is a posh word for the nunny over here.
Oh.
And it's supposed to be, but they sell it at dispensaries in California.
Okay, let me. All right,
So did you bury your face in a quim?
So let me just.
I'd rather call it my nunny. What?
Let me punch back at the weed community for a second here.
Why?
Y'all are doing the same thing that they did with bacon like 3 or 4 years ago. Weed is in everything now. You don't need a weed ballpoint pen. All right, you don't need a weed lube. Why do you need weed in everything?
That's called
I
monetization.
don't know because I'm allergic to it.
Oh no!
So
you
I
can't
need to know if it has a
experience the
nutrition.
quim. You can't experience it, huh?
No, I can't experience a happy clam that way.
Oh
I
wow.
have to look for non-normal ways.
Well, you know.
Mhm.
Look,
That's
It's messed up. You're gonna miss out on the quim experience.
Mhm. That's why it's my nunny.
There
Anyway.
you go.
You got the birds going.
Oh man, it is so beautiful out here right now. I had to sit outside. You know, I had to sit out and experience this because Lucy, the creaking is not good. What? The creak. Well, I'm podcasting. Yeah. Let me know when y'all ready to go.
your podcast. Tell them.
I know. I'm gonna go with you.
You see,
That's my Lulu bean.
That's sweet.
She is the cutest little girl. Sorry, Wayne.
Whoa.
I know you guys. That's the thing that they can fight over. It'll be my dad can beat up your dad, but like my daughter's cuter than your daughter.
No.
This is my Lulu bean.
Hey, gorgeous.
She's beautiful.
Okay. Quit being nosy. Go around the back. Go around the back. Go around the back.
Mikey, all right. Seneca Tiger.
Oh!
What did he say?
He said his daughter can out-cute your daughter, man.
Whatever. That's one of those things we can agree to disagree on.
And having talked to both beautiful young ladies, it is a toss-up. They're both very these are some cute-ass kids. Like y'all are annoying, ugly, out of shape, disgusting, spank breath men. But damn, y'all kids is cute. Y'all got some cute.
Mama. They look like their mama, thank God. That's what it is.
I love the fact that Mikey calls me out of shape. He's got these 2 strings hanging down from his shirt sleeves.
Yeah.
I don't have a giant body to lift if I ever want to do anything, so I don't need giant arms, Wayne.
It's all right, son. I'll get you in the Bullet Club. Look at us flexing a try. He's just sitting there going,
hey,
what?
My goal is to get Mikey wiry, where he's still slender, but he's strong.
Yeah, what's good?
No. All you need to do for Mikey, get him vascular. Get him that vein down there.
He's a vascular man.
Get that vein down there. He's done.
Okay.
I got veins somewhere, I'm sure. Look, I'm an intellectual. I don't have a lot of time for the sweating and shot. I don't even have proper shoes or workout equipment.
All I need is a half hour in whatever your Vans or your Airwalks or whatever.
Wait, why I gotta be rocking Airwalks?
Mikey's got his orthopedic shoes.
Oh. All you need are slippy socks and a slippy floor.
I got a slide board too, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, stop giving them ideas.
Look at Faye talking about her quim and her slippy socks.
That's what I should have named the episode.
Slippy socks are no good when you're trying to.
If you're not used to exercising, the first 2 or 3 weeks are going to be very, very painful and uncomfortable. Yeah, painful and uncomfortable. I didn't want to say painful to scare them, but yeah, they're going to be very painful.
No, it's
cool. Then you're going to wake up like nothing happened, and then it's just going to be like whatever.
If he does what I tell him to do, we can mitigate some of that soreness and stiffness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm great. I'm great at following instructions.
Okay.
Well, good. Then
I
you'll
thought
be.
you were going to say you're good at stiffness.
Yeah. Hot baths and continuous movement will do wonders.
Yeah, and ice baths and Epsom salt soaks,
Yeah.
And supplements.
Yes.
supplements, and stretching. He'll be
Yeah,
fine.
MSM and or collagen is really good at, helping muscles repair a little faster,
That
mitigating
is
some of the
correct.
pain. Awesome. See, someone agrees.
Mikey, get yourself some DDP yoga.
Mm.
DDP.
Diamond Dallas Page
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
with the Diamond Breaker.
Yeah.
That's how he fixed himself after he stopped wrestling.
Bang.
He could barely walk. Wasn't he using a walker or
Yeah.
crutches?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. DDP
His
yoga,
back
man.
and
It's the
his hips
shit.
and his knees were all jacked up.
I'm telling you now, right? I've got the program in there, and it's mad sweating standing still.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're just sitting there, you're engaging everything, you're locking everything in, and you're like, how am I sweating? I'm not doing anything.
It's called
just-
isometrics, baby.
Exactly. And I was back in the day, Huss, you were like this. Back in the day, I was on the P90X.
Oh yeah, P90X is good.
Yeah, man.
You know what? A lot of programs are good. What the problem is a lot of people don't stick to it, and that's where the failure comes in. Is that they don't, and they get that quit gene in them when the discomfort comes.
Not only that, but they tend to not watch their posture or body positions when they're trying something new, and they get repetitive motion injuries, and they back off from a good thing.
And that's why you need a person like me to help you watch your form.
Exactly.
So maybe that'll be a Patreon exclusive too.
Oh yeah, Mikey getting the shit beat out of him by a fucking big ass. I'll subscribe to that.
You see that lump of flesh laying in that puddle of sweat? That used to be Mikey.
Big Hans dropping Mikey back in a wheelbarrow.
Yeah. Loading him into the car. I'm like, get him home, Chris. Get him home.
You know, back in the day, like when in the Fantastic Four cartoon, when like he used to get a little bit too hot and he was just melted.
Yeah, he just melt. He'd be a blob. Yeah. That's like the lady in Doom Patrol. You ever watch that show?
No, I don't know about it.
Oh my goodness, Doom Patrol is a story about dysfunctional, reluctant superheroes. It's pretty good.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw that pop up on my HBO thing.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It took me a couple of episodes to get into it, but then I was like, okay, I like this.
I like the idea of reluctant people.
Very reluctant, very dysfunctional. They all have their vices, and it's real cool though. It's like a human element to it, even though that a lot of them are far from human. I just finished watching Jupiter's Legacy on Netflix. That was also very good.
What were you saying, Kay?
I was just saying, Doom Patrol's got Brendan Fraser as a robot.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Like a really grouchy robot who kills Nazis.
Brendan Fraser. I haven't heard that name in a dog's age.
I like him.
When they the cunt in like the Scorpion
Mummy.
King.
The Mummy.
George of the Jungle, baby.
Yeah.
George of the No, that's Dudley Do-Right, my man.
He did a bunch of stupid ass movies.
He couldn't miss mid-90s. He was everywhere.
He couldn't miss, and then all of a sudden he starts doing these. He was just check chasing. He must have had child support due or something because he was taking.
No. There was a documentary that he came out like he
Me Too movement.
Yeah, he was sexually abused and not abused him, but let's say something happened sexually and he stepped out about it and they blacklisted him.
Yeah, it was kind of similar to the Terry Crews thing. What happened to him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh really?
Oh really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel bad. I've been talking that shit about
Terry
him.
Crews' story was awful.
Yeah. The mummy stuff was badass, but yeah, they fuck with him because he didn't want to play games.
He didn't want to play their game. He didn't want to play their deep state. Baby.
Does anyone have any theories on like why certain actors have longevity and others just like die a death and they go like straight to DVD? Like Jean-Claude Van Damme in the 80s, untouchable.
Yep.
90s, Time Cop, straight to DVD. Like, what happens?
Good,
Time Cop was terrible.
Stop it.
It has a lot to
Good.
do with how far they can use you in the game. How much money can they make off you before people get tired of you? All right, next, and that's all it is.
It's
No,
the
but
focus groups.
You look at people like Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise,
How
No, Tom
relevant can
Cruise
Clint
is
Eastwood.
so
Fucking hell.
boring.
I think also too, it comes down sometimes to the roles you choose.
how relevant can you stay?
Yeah, if you choose, like Tom Hanks is always, for the most part, chosen great roles. You know,
He got into production and directing and networking, so he stayed relevant.
Oh, who's your man? John Wick.
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. He always plays the same character.
Keanu Reeves.
yeah,
He's always the
Will Smith.
only man hero.
he understands. I'm the badass in this. That's it.
He's
Will
got
Smith-
one note, but it's a really sweet note.
He can play the hell out of a
Does it
king.
well.
He plays
Neil rocks, kid.
Yeah. He plays that motherfucker. It's the same thing with Will Smith though.
Yeah.
Like he'll have every once in a while he'll actually act in a movie, but 9 times out of 10 he's Will Smith. He's he's Fresh Prince at all times.
Same as The Rock. The Rock is just The Rock.
But that's just action film, and that's not
He is as deep as the side of a knife. All he's doing is cutting a fucking promo from WWE in every scene he's in. That's all he's doing.
Yo, he survives everything. The Rock has survived everything. Yo,
Yeah.
That's a good point. The Rock has never died.
he's never died. No man has survived every.
Even Denzel Washington
Holy
has
shit.
died.
What?
Yeah, he never died.
The Rock never dies on film.
The
Nope.
Rock guys on film.
Denzel Washington died in my favorite film of all time, Man on Fire.
Yeah, Denzel. Yeah, which was a phenomenal movie.
The thing is, that film came out in what, 98, 99?
Something like that.
Yeah,
That's badass.
And I never really understood the connection until Marciana come along, and now I'm like, some shit happened to my daughter. I'll be cutting people's fingers off in their steering wheels.
I'll
You
put a
fuck
bomb
me,
up
son.
your butt.
Yeah, exactly. All of that.
The
That
Rock's
feel-
best role, by the way, was playing
Maui.
in
Yes.
Moana.
Yeah. Sienna sings the song for that film
welcome.
so well.
And I liked him also. Damn. See, now I forgot. I lost my train of thought.
Don't say Space Mountain.
The Rock.
No, he's just
Not
Maui.
Space Mountain. What is it? What's
God damn
What's
it.
the film?
I lost it.
Doom.
Doom was horrible. That's back when I used to play Doom. I used to play Doom after work at my cube with my coworkers on the desktop. We'd be there until 10, 11 o'clock playing Doom. I'd get sick. It was the first live action game I played.
Was it the Race for Something Mountain?
Which
Oh,
mountain?
Escape from Witch Mountain.
Yeah, I thought it was Space Mountain. I thought, what?
No. Space Mountain is a ride in Disneyland.
Yeah, that's all about Ric Flair.
Well, Space Mountain was a movie too.
Yeah.
Was it really?
hmm That's old school, like late 70s.
Hmm.
Damn, I can't remember that movie that I was about to say The Rock was. Oh, The Rundown. Have you guys seen The Rundown?
Yeah, the Rundown was
No.
cool. That was funny. That was actually enjoyable. Yeah.
Yes.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't know it.
Who was
That
in
was a
that?
good movie.
Who was in that with him?
Him and what's his name? Stifler.
Sean William Scott or something like that.
Yeah.
Sean
That was,
Scott Williams.
I think that was the Walking Tall. Was the one
Walking
with,
Tall, yeah.
not the one with Knox. I think because he did one with Stifler and one with Johnny
Yeah,
Knox.
Johnny Knoxville
Yeah.
was Walking Tall.
All right.
Correct.
IMDb.
Yeah, he did a couple of though he had like a sidekick movies and they weren't too bad. The best one out of them was The Rundown.
Oh,
Ain't they doing a new Jackass film?
Hmm?
Are they?
I think that
I thought
movie
too
you're
many of
thinking
them
about.
died or gone sober.
I think most of them are sober now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a Jackass film out this year.
He did one called Snitch, where he was up against cartels. His son got incriminated, and that was actually not too bad.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. The Rock did it's called Snitch.
Yeah, Jackass 4 is out this year.
I think the movie you guys were talking about was The Tooth Fairy.
Oh, you know what rock movie I used to watch with my daughter and cry is The Game Plan, because he was a football player in that movie and I played football, and the daughter was a biracial girl and her character's name was Peyton. So me and Peyton watched that movie and cried.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, that would have done me in, man.
Yeah, it was over, dude. I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, I love you too, baby.
Yeah. Let me hug him before he completely melts down. Come here. She's just doing like the pat.
Yeah.
Whenever me and Sienna watch Moana, she's like, "Daddy, you're my Maui."
Oh, don't do it to me. Don't do it. Who cutting onions in here? I told you about cutting onions in the house.
I do know that he, his wife, and 2 of his daughters had coronavirus last year.
Oh, wow.
His eldest daughter is in the WWE Performance Center.
Yeah, I don't know if she got it, but I do know that the 2 little ones did.
And his eldest daughter looks exactly like him. It's freaky.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, your daughter looks like you, and Haas, your kids look like you. As soon as your kids smile, I'm like, holy shit, your dad's looking at me.
Yeah. That's why Florence doesn't smile.
Oh, wow.
She just bites.
Well, I got to go eat dinner.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
All right, and I got to go to the park with the kids, so I'm going to jump off too.
And I've got to go to bed.
Yeah. So,
all right, I'll see you guys.
All right, Haas.
Well, I have to make a cup of tea or something.
Well, something so important like that.
I know.
So thank you guys for hanging out with us in the after show. Again, we appreciate your patronage. www.binpodcast. www.patreon.com/binpodcast. I'm Mikey. That's Faye. That's Wayne. That's Ease. That's Kay. We'll see you guys. Forgot where's the button. We'll see you later. Fuck Hassan Piker.